Harrogate Autumn Show 2012, Delphinium Society Yorkshire Group. Let's see what we've got up to. Very large stand, about 40 feet long, so we start at this end. The look what's on this year poster, telling people what we're about, and a few leaflets. Slugs and snails, which we normally do, which seems to be one of the most problematical areas with delphinium people, and obviously after the wet we've had this year, we're going to be in for problems this autumn and next year as well. So a bit on slugs and snails, the digital microscope here showing mildew, powdery mildew, and also pictures of botrytis and delphinium pollen and a few bits of samples there. Delphinium Society yearbooks, show people who've been around for a while. And the free educational DVDs we give away. The Society DVD we play here. Just to show people what's available. Books. And what we do at this show is a little one where we're asking people if they can help us with our delphinium breeding by listing your favourite 3 colours and posting the ballot box. So unfortunately we normally have at least 10 little trays of flowers here, but the weather's been that bad we've only managed to get half a dozen different ones, which is significantly different. So quite a few people have been posting the results, which will help us. It mainly goes for dark blues, which we don't seem to be concentrating on perhaps enough nowadays. A fine display of flowers, remembering this is the middle of September. The Fredhurst staking system, this is the same plant we've used for years. If you saw the spring show film clip, the plant was in flower at about 4 to 5 feet high. It's cut down since and decided not to grow again because of the weather, but at least you can see there the system of the stakes and the bands of hosepipe. The educational display as usual, with seeds and seedlings and crowns and cuttings. The joining banner and the TV you've seen before in the vertical frame. Another interesting one we do at this time of year is we've just called How Does Your Compost Grow? So selected seedlings were potted on the 29th of July into 9 centimetre pots of various proprietary composts. 6 weeks growth, and here we see the results. So the top growth isn't as variable as we'd expect, but the growing season this year has been completely horrible and nothing's really grown. But what does show quite nicely this time is the root growth. So this is perhaps the worst. And as you can see here, the old John Innes soil-based composts certainly produce a far superior root system. That one's John Innes number 3. But the number 1 and number 2 is basically the same. So the public do find this quite interesting, because obviously there's going to be more and more things packeted and bagged up as compost over this next few years, with all the recycled materials becoming on the market now. And whether it's going to be for the benefit of the gardener is another thing. The new members joining packs, joining leaflets and things. And another very interesting one we've done this year is on fertiliser levels in compost, and what sort of fertiliser levels do seeds germinate at best. So for this trial we've just started with plain peat, which we know is fairly inert, but it's a bit low in pH. So we've raised the pH to about 6 with some ground chalk and some magnesium limestone, and then added various amounts of fertiliser to the mix. So we've then sown about half a packet of Delphinium Society mixed seed into each 9 centimetre pot. We did this on the sowing on the 2nd of August this year, which again is coming up to 6 weeks. So this is the results, and some of them are quite surprising. So here, the first 3 pots, we've done 3 pots of each as an average, is unfertilised, and the seedlings are reasonably okay, which is quite surprising. And then we've done 50 grams per cubic metre, 100, 200, 300, 400 in this first tray. So above 200 they look fairly even. Another tray we've done 500 grams per cubic metre up to a kilogram per cubic metre, and they're fairly even as well, really. The third tray we've done 1100 grams up to 1750. We get a marked difference at about 1300. They do get bigger, possibly not necessarily better, but they do get bigger. And at 1750 there's been a few problems with them. And the final tray goes from 2000 grams, 2 kilograms per cubic metre, up to 3250 grams, so 3.25 kilos. And this is showing the worst tray of all, and the seedlings certainly being affected by high salt levels. The problem being at present is on any bag of compost we don't know what's in it, what the fertiliser levels are in it or anything, and it's quite interesting to know where your seeds are going to grow best. So at this point from this trial, from about 200 to 300 grams per cubic metre up to about 1200 grams per cubic metre, which is quite a big range, that's a 6-fold range, but the seedlings are fairly even 6 weeks after sowing. So we'd expect in the very near future the lower fertiliser ones will yellow a bit, the higher fertiliser ones will keep on growing. So quite an interesting trial. The seed sowing hints we give: just cover the pots with a little bit of fine sand before sowing seed, which makes then the seed far easier to sow before you cover it. Seed for sale. We always have a packet of seeds which have been sown here. These were sown on the 4th of August, so 6 weeks ago. That's what you get out of a packet of Delphinium Society seeds. And a new one we're doing, or trying now, are Delphiniums. So here we have ready germinated seedlings ready to pick out, £3 a pot, probably about 20 to 25 seedlings in a pot. Just to test the market and see how that goes. And then as usual we've got our young plugs, not the best I've ever done this year by a long way, but again the weather hasn't been with us. Quite a few of these anyway, £1 each, 6 for a fiver. And finally, for our efforts, lovely blue ones there, we've been awarded the Premier Gold Award, one of only 3, for an exhibit of special educational and or scientific interest. So we've had the best of awards all the way through for over a year now. Couldn't do any better this year, even though the year's been the worst on record. So once more, well done everyone.